Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Bhagavad Wankade. Today I will discuss the topic of clinical data management or clinical research. And the topic name is participant recruitments in clinical trials. In this topic I will discuss the how to participants recruits into clinical trials, what are the requirements for the participants recruitment in clinical trials, and how it is for recruiting clinical trial, some tips for recruiting clinical trials participants, and how do they recruit the people for clinical trials, and what is the participant recruitments. These are all things I will discuss in this topic. Let's start about this topic. First of all, what is the clinical trials? Clinical trials is performed after the preclinical trials. Whenever the trials occurs onto the trials was occurred onto the animals for ensure the toxicity of that drug or safety of that drugs. After the preclinical trials, the clinical trials are started. The clinical trials are performed on the human volunteers for the ensure the safety of that drugs and the effectiveness of that drugs. What is the participant recruitment in clinical trials? The recruitment of participants can take many forms, but generally involves the presentation of core information about the research to the potential participants prior to their environment in order to establish the interested and the willingness to take part in the study as research subjects. And there is one form, informed consent form signed by the participants for their willingness for the participation in the clinical trials. And after that, how are the participants selected for the clinical trials? All clinical trials have guidelines called eligibility criteria about who can participate in the criteria are based so such factors like age, sex, type and stage of disease, previous treatment history and other medical conditions. These all things are studied earlier prior to the take part into the clinical trials. The recruitment in clinical trials included the steps and identifying or sourcing potential participants who may be eligible, discussing all aspects of their trials with them, for that ensuring the comprehension and volunteerness. Their willingness must be required for the participation in the clinical trials, and subsequently obtaining informed consent for participation. And what are tips recruiting clinical trial participant? First of all, research the patient's population, understand the present you want to target. After that, use a multi-channel approaches. That means use a variety of methods to reach potential participants, including traditional media, social media and digital marketing. These all things included. After that, the partner with patient, advocate and non-profits. These groups can help you reach the potential through the trusted networks. After that, consider the dropout rates. Expect a certain percentage of the people to drop out of the trial and plan of that. These all tips are we can follow the recruiting whenever recruiting participants into the clinical trials. After that, clinical recruitment strategies that work. What are the strategies to recruit the subjects into the clinical trials? First of all, get to know your participants populations. Your participants must be potential and they can their willingness is required for participating into the clinical trials. After that, inform healthcare providers about your trials. After that, connect with the non-profits and partners and patients advocates. After that, work with the patient-centric clinical trials recruitment company. After that, utilize digital recruitment companies. These all things are necessary whenever the all tips are necessary whenever they recruit the participants for the clinical trials. This is all about how to recruitment of clinical trial, how to recruitment of subjects for the clinical trials. Thank you.